So right there, from what he said, he's already talked about how food itself is embedded with so many different types of sugars, and it's been given different names because if you've taken biology or chemistry, you understand that sometimes you have a category of sugars, and then they're broken down into like fructose, sucrose, and different types of sugars with the O's. Most of them have the O's, right? And you also have like corn syrup, different types of sugars, and starches also have different types of sugars. So that is what you find. And so the other thing is that you also tend to believe that your cravings mean that you're weak or you're addicted beyond control. And you believe that your lack of discipline is because you cannot stop eating sugary foods. And you believe that something is wrong with you because when you recognize that your habits, your environment, just like what he said. This is Doctor. Let me get his name. Let me actually get his name so that we talk about his name as well. So this was number one. Okay, they don't write his name, but
That
this
genetic.
guy, but this guy, the doctor, right? Like this guy, he's already told us that they put all of these things in there because it's going to help release dopamine, all the sugars, because that sweet, that high, that sugar high, they call it, is going to make you want to eat more, right? Because the moment you start eating more, and then it means that you come back, you buy more, you buy more all the time. So the moment you start understanding that, these food companies are doing this intentionally and it's not always your fault, it liberates you for starters. And what's also interesting is that sometimes we tend to now think that because these food companies are doing this, and maybe because of your genetics and modern life, it's impossible to actually eat well, which leads you to believe that you have no control over your eating patterns. That's the opposite side of that same spectrum. So you have to now understand that there is a breakdown immediately at that point. Because if you believe that your circumstances are stronger than your ability to build structure, there's no hope. But question is, why there's so many people who are still in shape, who are active and in shape, they can still eat healthy? What is the difference? Because now when we start boiling it down, we start to figure out like where is the breakdown, right? Just by us asking these questions, first of all recognizing the beliefs that we have in our minds, and then after we understand the beliefs that we have, we can now start breaking down to see, okay, but where does this belief lead me? What can I get from this belief if I keep holding on to it? So these are the things that we have to start asking ourselves, because now, because sugar is everywhere at the end of the day. So what you have to realize is that we are consuming sugar constantly throughout the day. And most processed foods contain added sugar. And you're overwhelming and overstimulating your appetite and reward system repeatedly by eating so much sugar because of that dopamine hit. And it floods your brain, and your brain is like, wow, let's go. But you also, if you've noticed, like sometimes different foods might give you a crash, especially sweet foods. And so what happens is, what we're also facing is that when we don't track our liquid calories, our snacks, or portion sizes, we underestimate how much sugar we're actually consuming. And you rely on feeling instead of measurement. Because now, if you only do that, you will lose track and you will know when you're going off track and when you're eating too much. And that's why I've made some videos on how to use MyFitnessPal, how to track your food. This is why it's so important for us to be able to track our food and understand what we're actually consuming. Because at the end of the day, the processed foods are actually engineered to keep us eating. And because they're engineered to do that, the sugars, they also combine with the fats and the salts, which creates just that feeling that we want to eat more because your cues for fullness have been overridden. And that's now bad for you because you're now constantly eating more foods that are designed just for overconsumption. Because if you've noticed, like if you've eaten McDonald's before, the next thing when you've eaten a burger or some fries, because those fries, they're good, they taste good, they taste amazing, like I won't lie. And what happens, or even like Five Guys, and what happens with how they make that food is you feel like you want to have like something sweet, like you want to have like a milkshake, like you want to have like McFlurry, you want to have more, you want to have a dessert, and boom, you've had the dessert. Because if you've researched as well, there's more research and studies that show that a lot of the menus are designed for different foods to go well. Like when you start with a starter, that's why they have like the 4 or 5 course meal, where they know like the science behind your brain chemistry and your stomach and how your taste buds can match different foods where you feel like you want to eat more. So they know exactly the different foods to put on the menu for starters to make you feel like your appetite is going, like you want to eat more and you want to order more. So those are intentional things. And I don't think that those menus are just like random foods put on there. Whether it's McDonald's and fast food spots, they make it even extreme because it's like just overstimulating and more dopamine and it's just empty. It tastes good, it's soft, it just goes down. So those are the things that we have to think about because when those foods are hyper palatable, they start controlling you and you think that, oh, like, but I didn't eat that much, I only had one meal. Because I've found this being a common thing, the people that say, hey, I'm trying to lose weight but I don't eat that much, this is what happens. But I don't eat that much, I only eat once a day. But that one meal a day could be like someone's like full day of eating. Just because you eat one meal a day doesn't always mean you're going to lose weight or you're not eating a lot. Because that one meal could be packed with so many calories, so many sugars. And so if you're not tracking, you don't have awareness, and you're eating these hyperpalatable foods, it's going to be very hard for you to lose weight. And you're going to end up demonizing sugar alone and say, oh, like I'm just going to eat uh bland food that doesn't have any taste. So you start going on the other side. You start going on the extreme. And so the lack of structure causes chaos because when you skip meals and binge later, it doesn't help you.